Welcome back, everybody, and today we are going to be doing another A-Rank / PvP guide on the Unity Cup here. We were able to already finish our Hishi Amazon one, so we are going to be moving on to the standard Biwa Hayahide, if I'm pronouncing that right. She is a very, very difficult Uma to run with. I know that a lot of people have had trouble with her, so we're going to be locking in the best we can to train her to be a medium and or long distance racer. As a pace chaser, we might even put her as a late surger depending on how things go, but it's important to note that we have a 20% increase to wit and a 10% increase to guts. So we're really going to need to go top heavy with the stamina and speed and try to get as much of that in there as possible, because it's going to make it rather difficult to hit those marks for a medium / long distance runner with this character. All right, and now we have picked our legacy cards, and let me explain what I'm looking at. We have a gold ship that is a guest of ours who's going to be giving us a 63-point bonus to stamina. She's also going to give us 2 pace chaser sparks, 1 medium spark, and 2 turf sparks. Then we have our Hishi Amazon that is going to give us a 42-12 speed and power split, and she's going to give us 2 4 medium sparks and 2 turf sparks. So these are going to give us a really good chance at proccing an S rank and at least one of the aptitudes we're looking for. I don't have a lot of long distance sparks. If you have some really good long distance builds, you could potentially go for a long distance, but I think in this case we're going to go for a medium distance racer, specifically because we do not have the sparks to get this up to an S, and I'd rather take my chances getting an S in an aptitude just to increase the ability to perform well in those aptitudes. Now, there is a stamina difference you're going to have to watch out for if you are doing a long distance Biwa instead of a medium Biwa. Medium, you can get away with around a 900. Long distance, you're going to want over 1,000 in stamina in order to really competitively compete on the long distance stage. Hi, and thanks for tuning into the video. Just a quick interruption here to remind you to leave a like on the video if you've enjoyed it so far, and subscribe to the channel for all future content. Thanks again, and back to the video. For our support cards, we're going with a 3 speed, 2 stamina, 1 Rico deck. The reason being, we're going to have a Akita Some Black is going to help us get that speed up quite a bit. Our best speed cards that are also going to increase our ability to get a maximum speed by the end of this run. We have a Super Creek in order to get our Swinging Maestro skill, and then we have Manhattan Cafe, who is just our best overall stamina card. And then Rico, who actually gives quite a bit of stamina as well. So that is essentially like having 3 stamina cards, but one of them is going to give you mood up and energy throughout the career. So that's going to be our build for this time. And let's go ahead and get started. And now that we've gotten started, we are going to focus heavily on speed and stamina this career path, as I'm sure you can imagine why. We got really lucky here with a 2 speed, 2 stamina on our speed. So we're going to take that. Keep moving on. Ideally, we'll get a bunch of those right at the beginning here. That would be absolutely lovely. We got another 3 stacks, so we'll take that. All of our support cards are pretty much aimed towards both speed and stamina, so we can kind of prioritize them at the same rate. Both stamina and speed at 0 increase. So the faster we get these support cards up, the faster we are going to get those rainbow trainings and increase our overall endgame stats here. If we can get a lot landing on our speed, though, that's going to be even better, because speed's a little more difficult for us to get up. We don't, well, it's not necessarily more difficult. It's more in the sense that we want to max speed. Stamina, we want high, but it's more important that we get speed up as quickly as possible. So the more speed training we do, the easier that is, obviously. But we also want to make sure we're not skipping out on any good support stacks that will get those rainbow trainings up even quicker. With that, our team power is up to F. We're looking pretty good on our training so far. That's another really good one there. We have 2 support cards for stamina and our Rico card thrown in there. Plus 10 to speed. Excellent. Nothing good on wit here. That's really good. It's a 33%. Let's give it a try. Excellent. We ended up nailing a 33% failure rate with all 4 support cards that are not Rico. Let's go ahead and take a rest since our energy is abysmally low there. Normally, late game, we try to do some more Rico trainings. We don't have Rico yet, as you could probably tell. But when we do have it, we'll usually do a Rico training if our energy's at about the halfway mark. Any lower than that, we're usually going to just go for a standard rest, because the standard rest can give us up to 70 energy back, and that is going to get us a lot more turns if we get lucky with those throughout this career path. Let's throw this into wit here. No practice perfect, but that's fine. Another good stack with our speed cards. Oh my god, that is crazy. We haven't had a really good beginning like this with our support cards in quite some time. Now, Biwa is a difficult one because she doesn't actually have the mile aptitude by default, so it can be a little difficult to win this first race. If you don't win this first race, I would say do 2 more speed trainings and then try one of the OP races again. Usually the reason we're failing those is because our speed is not high enough. Now, let's see. We got a double stack. We got 2 double stacks. I'm going to put this into our power skill there because Super Creek is there and she's our furthest behind support card at the moment. So it will help us even them out a little bit more. And King Halos are most difficult Uma to actually get on the speed end as well. So it all breaks out pretty well here. We can do a reporter with our wit. That'll get us just enough to do another training if we need to. But with any luck, we'll get a good stack on wit this next turn. Throw that into power. And we did get a rather good stack on wit. That'll get us pretty much a guaranteed success rate on the next speed training. Plus, we were able to get some wit in early on. The wit skill is going to be the most difficult for us to balance out because we want to make sure we're not neglecting anything else. 15% on stamina, and that is that is Manhattan Cafe and King Halo already in rainbow training. So that was rather quick. We can do a wit training here. Super Creek is getting up there slowly, ever so slowly, but we'll get her there. Ideally by classic year, we're going to be getting some pretty good rainbow training stacks with all of them. We'll take a rest here, and we were fortunate enough to get the 70. There it is again. Perfect. Love to see that. Take a rest, and now that we have good energy, we can do a 26-point speed training here. That's going to put our Harakite Iko up to rainbow training with our what is her name? Oh god, how am I forgetting this? Gita Black. Oh my god, I have committed a cardinal sin. That is fine, but we're just gonna pretend like it didn't happen. Let's do a wit training here with Aishin Flash. Excellent. Speed cards already looking solid. Really, really solid. So we'll throw that into stamina because we're probably gonna be getting our speed up rather quick. Ideally, we'll get it up to A rank. We wanted an A rank by our second beach training. If we can get it there, we're going to have a lot more confidence in the run. 18 points to stamina. Awesome. The Asahi High. Yeah, nice. Third place, that's okay. Mile race. We only have a C aptitude for mile. Can't really do too much about that early on unless you're using mile sparks or training her to be a mile runner. 7 turns before the Satsuki show. And there is an event for us. Excellent. 15 skill points and stamina to spare. May or may not use that by the end of our career, but we'll decide that a little farther on. Let's do our rainbow training speed, and she failed. Why wouldn't she? Why wouldn't you fail that? Well, let's just go ahead and fail that, and, succeed in all the other really big deal ones. That's fine. Okay, Cope over. Unity Cup again. We're probably not going to be stacked up too well. Nope, so let's go ahead and take the second option. Beginner Showdown, and this should be a solid win for us. Never want to fail this first one, so if we can up our chances a little bit, if we have really poor chances on the top option, it's okay to shoot for the second one. The increases aren't as good, but they're not nothing, so do that as you will. Moving on, we got some new members here. None of them are going to be a part of our main team. We're really going to be using Haruura as our main dirt runner. We'll be the main medium runner. Dry Shower will most likely be our long distance runner. We got a double speed. Let's take it. And Rainy Days hint. Probably not a skill we'll buy, but we'll see. If we have some extra skill points at the end of the career, we may go for it. Excellent. Plus 15, plus 15. Another double speed stack. Okay. Getting these early on. We love to see those. We are going to need to take a rest, and we do need 131 fans still, so don't want to neglect that. Let's take a rest here. And then we can do a race. We got the Hanshin Turf, which is both gold aptitudes for us. So we're going to be a little more confident with this one. View results. There's our first place. And we have more than enough fans for the foreseeable future races. And we just love looking at Biwa as well. So that's always a bonus. 15 stamina. That's our studious. And what? We got a 19 there. 60% failure rate. I really don't want to fail right now, so we're actually gonna take another rest. We got a 50, almost up to max energy, so that's good for us. We're gonna do a wit here. I'd really like to get that super creek up here as soon as possible. And inspiration coming in hot. Now, what are our points gonna look like? With any luck, we'll be getting the max with all of these. No gold skills, unfortunately, but we did hit pretty well with our actual points awarded, so that's pretty solid. Satsuki Sho is not an ultimately difficult one, so we're not going to purchase any skills just yet. We will purchase skills before some of the longer mid-game races, but we don't need them at this stage at least. Excellent. Goal complete. 2 turns before the Japanese Derby. And we have max energy, so we can get some pretty good turns in here. And there comes the Rico training. Middle option will always guarantee that you continue to use her. And we got the mood up exactly as we planned. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So we can do this a couple of ways. I would rather do a speed training here. Give it to Mati. That way we're getting her closer to being able to do a bubble pop. I do like to put some good trainings into it, but with the few bubbles we have ready to pop, I don't want to waste one of them on wit right now. I'd rather that go into either speed or stamina. Popped up in wit again. So let's go ahead, we'll do guts. And then I think with 2 more training, Super Creek's going to be exactly where we want her. Japanese Derby is here, and we should be set. Thank you, Super Creek. Let's take a look. I don't believe we've gotten anything really, really good yet. So let's take a race. I think we'll be fine on the Japanese Derby with our stats as they are now. These, again, are not very, very difficult races early on, but the late game does hit a little bit harder. Okay, so now we're going to really hope we're getting these stacks. Let's do a stamina training with Mati. We do have a Unity Cup coming up right as rain here, and that's going to kind of break up our flow, but that's fine. We'll do the 15% into speed. We got some Unity training for Rice Shower, which is good. Our long distance runners are looking better. 3 stamina up. And our Unity Cup race is open. We are going to most likely take a rest after this instead of a Rico training. Just to... Oh, I meant to choose the second option there. We're probably not going to perform very well during this Unity Cup race, but that's okay. 1 and 2. That was actually better than I thought we would do. You get more points awarded if you win those, but it's not the end of the world. We don't necessarily need them to actually pull off a really good run here. So let's go ahead. We'll do a rest of recreation. That will cure our debuff of practice 4 as well. And since we don't have any rainbow training, we're going to throw that into wit. This is a really good time to train wit because you're going to get the max amount of points for it, and it will give you more energy back even if you're not getting rainbow trainings or resting. Now, all in all, we do prefer to have really good speed trainings during these beach trainings, but if you don't, that's a really good alternative. And we are at the end of our first beach training, and we're pretty close to a B in speed. And that's a really good time to train power because that's going to get Super Creek up to rainbow training. We can take 1 rest here, ideally get a 70 energy back, and this will give us a 10 energy as well. I don't even want to see what it was. Excellent, we rolled another 70. Pretty good if you ask me. There's a double stack, and we can train up our Taiki Shuttle and Ponytails. Focus up and 1 turn before Kikuku Sho. Or no, Kikuku Sho's right now. And we do have Professor of Curvature, which will help us out quite a bit before the Kikuku Sho, because it is one of the more difficult races. So let's get Professor of Curvature. And we are going to be running as a pace chaser, so we're going to grab stamina to spare. Doesn't hurt to have 2 gold stamina recovery skills, especially when you're doing medium and long distance racers. You often see that on the long distance racers. They have, you know, 3 gold sprint skill, not sprint, 3 gold speed skills and 2 gold stamina recovery skills. And that really sets him apart. Now we got 11 turns before Tenno Sho, but 3 before the next Unity Cup. So right now we're going to stick this into power. And with any luck, we'll get some good stacks here. That's really nothing. So let's take a wit training. If it was a little lower, I would have done a Rico there. But our energy wasn't quite low enough that I wanted to waste a Rico training on that. So now we got, a 39 in speed. Good stack there. That's going to bubble pop our Super Creep, but also get our Dirt Smart Falcon, who's going to be our Ace Dirt Runner, up a little bit more for the Unity Cup here. A 44 triple stack. You love to see it. And Taiki Shuttle is almost ready to pop that bubble. Now, if we don't get anything good this next turn, we will do a Rico training. That way we can get that mood back up to great. Yeah, nothing phenomenal. So this is going to be a good time to get that mood up. And we'll get a little bit of energy as well. There we go. We got 32 energy recovered and a mood up right before the Unity Cup. So really good timing there. This is going to be for the D rank here. We're looking a lot better now that we did some more Unity training and bubble pops. And we should be able to take home the gold moving forward. 4 out of 5. Great. I think Arcetus and Black was the only one that underperformed. Team Carrot killing it. 12 turns, 8 before Tenno Sho, which is the longest one we can run into, as you probably very well know. Tenno Sho is a lot of the times a career ender for a lot of people, but we're not going to let that happen to us. We're going to go ahead and do the stamina here. That way we can get another support card here for the Unity Cup up a little bit, increase our overall chances. Carrot puts us back up to max. Awesome. And we got Swinging Maestro from our Super Creep. Looks like we're doing that again, and that will cap off our Haru Urura for the bubble pop. So now our dirts are good. Our medium, we're looking pretty good. Our long distance is looking decent. Our miles looking fantastic, so we don't have to worry about that. Yeah, so really overall pretty well-rounded right now as a team. I'm going to do speed here. Don't want speed falling too far behind, and 600 stamina should be more than enough for career Spring Tenno Sho. Really, you know, if you were doing like the Spring Tenno Sho distance at 3,200 meters in PvP, that's going to be the longest you really ever do. Technically, you can go up to 3,600 meters, but the average is between 3,000 and 3,200, where you're going to want, you know, 900 plus stamina. And do we get any gold aptitudes? None. That's unfortunate. But again, it's random. You get a little bit higher chance with more of those sparks, but can't do too much about it. That's one of those things you kind of just have to play the career over and over and over until you land what you're looking for. All right, overall, our stamina and speed are looking really good for the Spring Tenno Sho. We do have one stamina recovery skill. It's not gold just yet, but we do have Professor Curvature. Swinging Maestro, we don't have enough for it, so let's go ahead and buy Corner Recovery, which should be just enough to really, really put the nail in the coffin for the other Umas in this race. Second place wasn't the nail in the coffin I had presumed, but still good. We passed. We just needed top 3. Yep, if you follow this method, you'll get to the Tenno Sho, no problem. Normally, we've actually gotten first place on those, but can't win them all. Time for a Rico one. This will give us some more stamina. Excellent. Her and her cows always bringing stamina to the table. You love to see it. Getting a lot of single stacks. We would prefer to have more double and triples, but, you know, you can't always get that lucky. With beach training coming up, maybe we'll get some just absolutely dominating stat increases. Up to 878. We're going to need to take a rest before the beach. And we'll go crazy for bananas. That's okay to take there, because if you fail it, you can recover it pretty much immediately in the beach trading that comes up after that. And there's a first place by 6 whole links over Aishin Flash. Really, really good run there. Awesome. Valentine's Day. Or no, that was just a bunch of hearts. That wasn't Valentine's Day. We're in late June. I don't even know what that was. but there was a lot of hearts, and it was adorable. All right, B rank Unity Cup. This one's actually usually the one that is the easiest out of the entire group because we've had lots of opportunity to do lots of Unity Cup training by this point. Yep, then we absolutely swept it. Up next, we have the Tenno Sho Autumn in 7 turns, and here's our beat training. We got a 40, we'll take it, and that's going to give us a good bubble pop for our rice shower. Nothing phenomenal, so we're going wit. Always go wit when you don't get something phenomenal in beach. That's what I always say. 23, 29, ooh, that's a hard one. I'm actually going to go speed. Speed is most important. It's so tempting to do the other ones, but we really want to make sure we're getting the speeds out of it. Oh my gosh, I can't speak today. We want to really make sure we're getting the most out of our speed. So we did fail that. It was like a 30%, so that's fine. We'll go ahead and take a rest. Or no, we won't because we got our 30 energy back, which is fantastic. I would prefer to have a little bit better there. So let's go ahead. We'll take a wit and help out some of our Unity trainings here. And I'm not going to risk another slow metabolism. So let's do that. We'll do the Unity Cup bubble pop there. That'll give us a solid, I think it was 34 we're looking at for our speed there. And then let's throw that into power. Again, haven't trained power all that much, but it is up to a B. Now we're going to do a Rico training because our mood is just that good and we want that to be a great. We got 5 turns before the next Unity Cup. So let's take that honey milk, get that up to great. Get our energy up to about 80%. In the Tenno Sho Autumn, we already came in 2nd place in the Spring Tenno Sho, so this should be a breeze. Excellent. There's our 1st place. 3 lengths over TM. Mapparo. Oh. Excellent. And we got 1 more goal for the Arima Keenan in 3 turns, which is at the exact same time we'll be doing that Unity Cup final race. Let's do a wit here. That will get Tachyon or Digital. I always think Agnes. We'll get Agnes Digital up. And then we'll get 2 good speed trainings in. 24. You can give us better than that. Come on, where are the double stacks at? Extra speeds there. 35, double stack, right on time. It's like you heard my call. How beautiful. How truly beautiful that was. We'll take the +5 energy here. That'll give us just enough in case we get a really good training right after this. We're going to want to get 1 more stamina training in as well, just to guarantee we get the A rank stamina by the end of this career. So we're probably going to do, going into the URA finals, 1 stamina and 2 speed. That's what we're aiming for. But depending on the percentages, we might be cutting it a little close. Here is our Unity Cup, and we're looking pretty stacked. Let's see how we're looking up against these. It's going to be a toss. It's going to be a dice toss. You never know with these. It always seems so random, even if you have such a perfected team. And we won. Yep. I have lost many times with better odds, so overall, not bad. Came out on top. Love to see it. Speed level 5. And we're headed to the URA qualifier, and it starts right away. Shoot! Didn't mean to click that. Well, regardless, we were aiming for stamina, but this next year we're going to have to rest, and then we'll go for a good stamina training. We're going to be just shy on maxing out our speed, but that's okay. You don't get exactly the stats you're looking for every single time, but this is going to get us pretty dang close. Now, we got the 13s there. Semi-final, we're going to have to take a rest, and with any luck, we're going to get 70. Doesn't really matter at this point. We only have 1 more training, but I like to be wishful. View results. That's an easy win. The very last one here is going to be hard because we did lose the Unity Cup, which means we're going to have more competitive foes. Advance to the finals. We're actually going to get the A in stamina, which is fine. So we're going to take the speed here. Now we do want to get Swinging Maestro. I'm also going to want to get, let's see. Do we not have the end closer one that I really like? Home stretch haste. There it is. These should help us out in this race. It is a very difficult URA finale, so let's see what we can pull off here. See what I mean? It was close. It was close, but we'll get it. There it is. Not always on the first run, but we always pull it off. We get our plus 13s. I don't know if we got the reporter high enough to get anything back from her. Nope, not this time around. Carrot supplements give us the plus 10. And we got some stamina and guts from Rico. Love to have that. And I think it's plus 5s from Biwa. Excellent. So these are our final stats, and we were very, very close to what we were aiming for. Just shy on the speed, 2 points. But ultimately, this would be a very, very decent medium distance runner. Now, we are a little shy on the stamina. Like I said, we were going to be aiming for around 900 in stamina. However, we're going to make up for that by having those 2 gold recovery skills. So now I got 128 points to play with, and I'm going to put those into wet conditions and rainy days. And I'll make sure to race her in those conditions. Make sure you spend as much points as you can to ultimately give you better points towards your overall career goal. And there we go. High A, almost an A+. Very, very close with 2 long sparks. But there you have it. That is going to be my A rank / PvP guide for Biwa Hayahide. I hope you liked it. If you did, make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel for all future content. And leave a comment in the comment sections if you have any questions. I will get to those as quickly as possible. Thanks again for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your weekend. Bye-bye now.